everybody. I thought what we could do today, since I'm embarking on a new health kick, and I'm going to do a doctor role play or two pretty soon at the request of some of my subbies, I'm going to focus that on a couple major topics of interest to me. One being type 2 diabetes, and the other being Alzheimer's and its association with type 2 diabetes. So I have to get rid of some of my snacks that I'm not supposed to eat. And I should really be tossing them, right? I should be throwing them. But instead, I have to sample them a little bit because they're too yummy to toss, and they're not totally unhealthy. They're actually pretty good as long as I take a good lot of exercise after doing it. That is the key. So I have here in this bag, right here, I have some dried kiwi, and I have some dried ginger, cubed, dried, sugary ginger, which has a lot of bite. It's very spicy. I really like the color of these kiwis because they have this nice green color. It just happens to be one of my favorite colors. If I was to backlight it, it would look a little bit like an emerald or something. So I'm going to eat one of those. That tastes like a kiwi, only better. I really have a weak spot for dried fruit. Of course, if you eat dried fruit that has no added sugar, then it's really pretty good for you, even though it still has a reasonably high sugar content. You really shouldn't eat the kind of dried fruit, though, that has all this crystallized added. Let's see if we can get this to focus. Come on, focus, focus. There we go. You can see it has a lot of added, this ginger. But ginger is so spicy, you have to do something like that to make it edible in this form. I'm only going to eat one, though. That's good. Very hot and spicy, though. That's yummy. I'll have a little sip of this because that's very, very spicy. Next up, in my other bag, I only have a little bit of this, okay? When I buy it, I buy very small volumes. And what I will do is, after I eat this stuff, just one piece of each, I will pay for it by taking a long walk and doing a little light weightlifting and some exercises. Here we have some papaya, right? Some dried, I think that's what this is. If my memory serves correctly, that's gotta be what that is. Nothing else looks quite like that, right? So there's a little papaya. I'm just gonna eat one bite of it. I'm not a giant fan of papaya in its natural state, but I like it a lot in this form. And I do like the color of these too. This looks a little like an agate, you know, I'm into agates. And it looks like some of the agates that are translucent that I have found in the past. I might have to have one more small bite of that. Teeth marks, right? What else do we have here? Oh, this is the one you're really not supposed to eat. If you're watching your blood sugar, which I am. I'll explain to you about type 2 diabetes when we do our doctor role play. Then I'll go into depth on what it all means, how to avoid it, how to cure it, sort of, you know, and all those kinds of things. But meanwhile, here we have a piece of pineapple, dried pineapple, very yummy, and the sweetest of all. If I had, 20 big pieces of this, it would be tempting to eat them all. They're very addicting. So what I've done is limited myself to just a little bit when I buy it. A couple rings is all I'll get. That's the best. Good thing I don't live in Hawaii or other tropical zones where they have this fresh. I would be whacking pineapples open with a machete and eating them because I love the stuff. But then I'd have to walk 10 miles a day to burn off the blood sugar. But of course, if you're walking on the beach or in the mountain, maybe that's okay. Here's another little snack that you're gonna get so tired of me complaining about the every 5 to 10 minute interruptions here with the noises that you're gonna be very relieved when I move to my house in Oregon. You and I both. Because when I get there, I will be making a lot more videos than I'm even doing now. I will make them on my former channel as well. My old Jody Arias channel. Anyway, where were we? On treats that I have to pay for. Here we are. Sweetened blueberries in dark chocolate. See there? But this is a very small bag, you see, so if I make one of these last for a couple of days, it's all about portion control. If you have to watch and limit your sugar. This has in it these little guys. Let's try one. Looks a little like a rabbit turd, but, well, more like a cocoa bean or something. That is very good. Blueberry and chocolate together are very yummy. Ingredients: dark chocolate, which is cocoa butter, chocolate liqueur, sugar, and vanilla. Dried sweetened blueberries. contains less than 1% of the following: gum acacia, which is kind of a preservative, and confectioner's glaze. Let's see, allergy information. May contain peanuts, tree nuts. What? There's no peanuts or, okay, tree nuts in here, but it's because the manufacturer might have some other thing being made close by that has nuts, and a trace could get into the air or something. So for legal reasons, they have to do that. There's only about 100 calories in one whole bag of these, which, as you can see, I've eaten half the bag already. Not very many come in one, so it's really not bad at all. No artificial ingredients, see there? And of course, blueberries have antioxidants in them, as does other types of fruits, but especially berries, red berries too. Chocolate also does. So if you eat the very high cacao percentage chocolate, a small amount, then you're doing okay. So that's about it for my dried fruit. I'll save the rest of the mango and pineapple and the rest of my kiwi and my ginger for another day, and the rest of my little blueberries here for a different day, because it's all about moderation these days. However, I did blow it in one thing. I got these things called Winco energy bars, When they put a label on it that says energy bar, then what people like me do is we use that as a rationalization and say, oh, this isn't a cookie, it's an energy bar, So it's really good for me. But then when you read the ingredients on the back, it's got high fructose corn syrup, which I'm supposed to avoid like the plague. It's got sugar, of course, and partially hydrogenated palm oil, which you're never supposed to have. So I'm not going to buy this again, but it's really yummy. It does have oatmeal in it, which is good for you. And it also, here's the good stuff it's got. Okay, it's got cranberries, very good for you, raisins, apple bits, walnuts, honey, non-fat milk, okay? So, and trace amounts of almonds and coconut. How can you have a trace amount of an almond or a coconut, I wonder? Let's get one out and taste it. Let's get one out and taste it. If you look at this side, it looks pretty healthy, doesn't it? It's got that stuff in it, the fruit and everything, the oatmeal. But if you look at this side, we can see it has some nice frosting on it. I guess that's where the sugar and stuff is. Let's try a little bite. Those are so good. I have to never buy these ever again. They're too good. Instead, I have recently come across a recipe for some muffins that taste almost just like this, but without all of the sugar and corn syrup and no partially hydrogenated oil. The recipe has in it raisins and apple bits and a lot of carrots and things like that, some nuts, walnuts and things, low fat nuts. And it tastes almost just like this. So I'm going to bake those sometime and do that as an ASMR video for you. I'm only going to eat 2 bites. 2 bites. The rest of that cookie, energy bar, is going back into the container for later so that I don't overload my system. In fact, I'm going to go have my antioxidant vitamins now and my B12 and D3 vegan. No, I'm not a vegan, but those vitamins are best in that form. Those two. Methylcobalamin B12, good for you in many ways, and vitamin D3 from plants rather than animals. Okay. I have to go pay for this sugar binge with my exercise walk now. Until next time, don't ASMR and drive everybody, or anybody, or all of you. Bye-bye.